Welcome to Cat Zero Yoga. I'm Kat and this is a beginner flow class to stretch out your outer hip area. So you might have been drawn to yoga and want to try it because you get pain in your outer hip area. Perhaps you're a side sleeper as I am and that causes pain here. Or maybe you get pain right in the sacroiliac joint where your spine meets the pelvis in the very low back. If you have sciatica, which is tingling pains down the backs of your legs that are caused by the outer hip and buttock muscles being very tight, this is a great class for you to follow. So I hope you enjoy the class and I'll see you on the mat. Start on your mat in a comfortable cross-legged position. Take a few nice deep breaths. And again, just center yourself. Notice how your body is feeling. And you don't even need a specific yoga mat for this class. It's a beginner flow, you might not have one. There's no moves in this class which require the specific tacky surface of a yoga mat, so even if you're just sitting on the carpet, that's fine. Just center yourself, observe how you feel. Lengthen up through your spine. And as you inhale, shrug your shoulders right up to your ears. Exhale them down your back. Just feel that movement of your shoulder blades, inhaling up and exhaling down. We're not going to be seated for long, just bringing a little bit of movement in time with the breath into the body. And keep your shoulders drawing down your back away from your ears as if you could put them in your back pockets and keep them there. On your inhalation, float your arms up to shoulder height. And exhale, circle your wrists down. Inhale up. Just 3 in each direction. Just a little bit of warming up for the wrists because then we're coming onto hands and knees. So hands under shoulders directly, knees under hips directly, lengthening from the crown of the head to the tailbone. Gently drawing your tummy in and feel as though you're engaging from inner hip bone to inner hip bone so that you're not sagging through the lower back. Shoulders draw away from the ears, gently push the floor away so you're not dipping like that in between the shoulder blades. We want to feel broad in between the shoulder blades. And if you imagined that you had lines sticking out the sit bones, which are these bony bits that stick out the bottom of the pelvis, those lines would extend parallel to the floor. So just watch you're not pointing them up because then you'd be dipping through the lower back. We want to point them parallel to the floor. Take a nice inhalation here. And on your exhalation, tuck your tailbone under, round your spine up towards the ceiling. Relax your neck, let your head hang down. This is round cat or down cat. Inhale, come back into your flat cat position. Just observing that neutrality in the spine, not sagging through the lower back, a little bit of engagement of the tummy, gently drawing in towards the spine, back of the neck parallel to the floor. Exhale, tuck your tailbone under, round your spine up towards the ceiling. This is a nice stretch for your lower back. Push the floor away, relax the neck, maybe even give your head a little wobble. And as your inhalation naturally occurs, coming back to your flat cat position, draw your shoulders down your back away from your ears. Lots of space between ears and shoulders. And again, exhaling, rounding, release the neck, push the floor away. Inhaling, flat cat with a flat back. Shoulders draw down the back away from your ears. And exhaling, rounding into round cat. Let's extend upon this to add in up cat. So inhaling, shining your chest forward, curl your toes under, ground your toes into the earth. Bring the tops of your feet to the mat and exhale, round into round cat. Continue with your breath. Inhale, shine through to up cat, ground your toes into the mat. Exhale, round into round cat. Let's extend upon this to add in child pose. So inhaling, shining into up cat. Exhale, rounding, bring your bottom down to your heels, belly to your thighs, forehead to the mat. Inhale up, shine the chest through to up cat. exhale, round and down. So let's have a little rest in child pose now. Relaxing everything, just wriggling side to side. Taking a few lovely deep breaths here. And then grounding your hands on your inhalation, rising up to hands and knees. And then from here, imagine you have a point in between your knees on the mat and circle your hips around this point. Circling around. And you can push your hips out to the side, and that will give you a stretch in the outer hip. And you can let your breath flow naturally. Check in with your face and jaw, lips, teeth and tongue, that they are relaxed. Elbows not locking, maybe even bending through the elbows a little bit to sink down a bit lower. These can be small circles or big circles. The more you can push your hips to the side, the more stretch you'll get down the outer hip area. And then let's circle the other way. Nice flowing breaths. Ground down through the tops of your feet. If your wrists are tender, make fists with the hands. Face and jaw relaxed. Last couple of circles here. And then last one. Come back to center in your flat cat position. And then bringing the right knee behind the right wrist and a little bit out to the right. Sweep your right foot across the midline of your body, flexing your foot as much as you can, so grounding it into the mat. Sink your hips down, flexing your foot as much as you can, so pressing the foot into the mat, finding that stability there. Sink your hips down low, stretch out through your back leg. So you really want to be able to stretch out through that leg. So if you do need to shuffle forward a bit, that's fine. And it doesn't matter how low you sink your hips. They might be quite high up, as long as they are level. So not dropping one or the other. Grounding down through the top of your back foot. And breathing here. If your wrists are tender, make gentle fists. And work to keep your shoulders drawing down your back and away from your ears. So this is a fantastic buttock stretch for the right side. And it will stretch into the outer hip area. And it's great for relieving tension in the hips and around the sacroiliac area where the spine meets the pelvis. One more breath here. This version is called the king pigeon. So thinking of that chest shining forward, and you might get a little bit of a stretch down the front of your body too. Keep grounding into the top of your back foot. If it feels right for your body, then walk yourself forward. So this is really going to depend on your body. So always listen to your body and only do what feels right. Coming forward like this will intensify the stretch in the buttock. Make sure you keep that pelvis level, and you can always put a support underneath your right buttock. If it's quite high off the ground, pop a cushion, a block or a thick book under there to rest on if you need to, if you feel that feels good. And depending on your body, you might even lengthen all the way forward. See what feels right. Keep stretching out through that back foot. Good. One more breath here. And walk your hands back towards you, hands under shoulders, ground into the hands, nice spread out fingers. Slowly come back to hands and knees. Inhale in flat cat. And exhale, tuck your tailbone under, round your spine into round cat. Inhale into flat cat again. And we'll take some nice big circles of the hips. Exhale backwards, inhale forwards, or whichever feels right for you. Widen your knees if you want to. And I always say, if the knees are very wide, big toes pointing towards each other because it's a lot more comfortable. Lovely. Pushing the hips to the side, we'll get that stretch down the outer hip. And then other way. Big or small circles. Just move intuitively. Let your body flow. As you practice yoga more, you'll work out how to get into those areas that need stretching. And come back to center. Back into your flat cat position. Inhale here. And exhale, tucking your tailbone under, rounding your spine up towards the ceiling. Relaxing your neck, let your head hang down. Push the floor away from you with your hands. And then on your next inhalation, coming back into flat cat. Inhale here. And exhale as you bring your left knee behind the left wrist, a little bit out to the side. Sweeping the left foot across the midline of the body and flexing your left foot. Sink your hips down low. Pushing out through your back toes, grounding the top of the back foot into the mat. Make sure you've got space behind you so you can really stretch out through those back toes. King pigeon, having a few breaths here. Maybe making fists if your wrists feel tender. We don't want too much weight on the wrists here, really. We want to feel lifted from the chest and the hips sinking down. Always keep the hips level. It doesn't matter how high up they are, as long as they're even and level. And you can always place something under that left buttock to help you have something to rest on. If it feels right for your body, lowering yourself down forward onto your elbows. Make sure you're not craning your neck at all, so you look straight down at the floor, nice relaxed fingers. Maybe even all the way forward if that feels right for you. Keep those hips nice and level. And then walking your elbows back underneath your shoulders. And walking your hands towards you, grounding your hands under your shoulders. Nice spread out fingers as you push back onto hands and knees. Inhale in flat cat. And exhale into round cat. Inhale, flat cat. And exhale, round cat. And one more. Inhaling into your flat cat. And then let's take a few lovely circles in each direction. And the other way. Come back to center. And have knees under hips directly, ankles aligned with the knees. Take an inhalation, and on your exhalation, step your right foot to the outside edge of your right hand. And shuffling your foot forward so that your ankle is underneath your knee directly. Maybe make fists if your wrists feel tender, or if you feel like you need to lengthen up and have a bit more space. You can also use a block underneath your hands to give you a bit more height and a bit more space. And then we're just going to rock forwards and backwards here. You ideally don't want your front knee to overshoot your ankle by much at all. Ideally stacking the knee over the ankle as you come forward. And then when you come back, your bottom won't come too close to your heels either. You just feel that easing into the stretch in the right hamstring, maybe even all the way up to the hip. Let's take a few circles. Circling the hips around in a nice easy motion. Breath flowing steadily. And let's go the other way with the circle. Beautiful. Grounding your hands, come back to center. Step back to hands and knees. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, round into round cat. Inhale, flat. And exhale, round. And one more. Good. Come back to your flat cat position. Inhaling. And exhale, step your left foot to the outside edge of the left hand. Find your comfortable position, maybe resting your hands on a block for more height or making gentle fists. And as you push your hips forward, the knee stacks over the ankle. Inhale and exhale back. Or do the breath that feels right for you. It really doesn't matter as long as you're aware of the breath. Just simply creating this nice easy rocking forward and back. Try to keep the hips squared forward, like they were headlights on a car, shining forward. Grounding into the top of the back foot to help keep pressure off the back knee. And you might even find that you need to shuffle your front foot forward as your flexibility increases with these movements, just to make sure that that front knee isn't overshooting the ankle by too far. So then let's take some nice circles, just circling the hips around in a nice easy intuitive motion. This is so good for releasing your hips. And let's go the other way with the circle. Beautiful. It's great for your pelvic floor health as well. So this will bring some gentle stretches and lots of circulation to the tissues of the pelvic floor. So coming back to center. Ground your hands, come back to hands and knees. Inhale, flat cat. And exhale, round into round cat. Inhale into flat cat. And exhale, round. One more round here. Come back into your flat cat position, bring your bottom down to the floor. And your legs in front of you. You might want to sit up on a block or a cushion. Use your intuition to what feels good. Move the flesh of your buttocks out the way. Have the soles of your feet together quite a good distance in front of your body into seated star pose. Lift and lengthen all the way up through the back of your body. And again, if you do feel any tension in your lower back, grab a block to sit up on. It really does help. So inhale here and then inquire into tipping forward. So you're coming forward to the front edges of your sit bones. Again, move the flesh of the buttocks out the way so you can really feel your sit bones in contact with the mat. And listen to your body. See what feels right. I'm keeping the heart lifted for now. Muscles, my postural muscles are working in my back to keep me lifted and lengthened and support my head and shoulders. Just inquiring into that hinge forward at the hips, which will give me that wonderful stretch all around the sacroiliac, buttock, maybe outer thigh area, depending on your particular areas of tightness. And if it feels right for your body, then round over. And over a few rounds of breath, make your way back upright again. Come into a comfortable seated position. And bring your palms to touch. And just be aware of the connection between the palms. And be aware of how you are feeling. You made a great decision to practice yoga today, stretching out your outer hips and lower back. I hope you feel good. And I'll see you again. Namaste.